The Sports Renegades podcast on SportstownChicago.com. Welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportstownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
All right, let's sort of talk about something that's been in the news the last few days, Deflate Gate. I know they had a report that came out saying that Tom Brady probably knew that there was something up, not necessarily Bill Belichick or anyone else in the organization, but Tom Brady certainly probably knew what was going on, and the balls were in fact deflated. At least 11 of the 12, I think, were. I mean, why not deflate all 12? You might as well, right?
Yeah, right. They wanted to make it. They wanted to make it look like it wasn't as bad as people thought.
11 of the 12. As a whole, the issue really isn't that big of a deal. I mean, they did cheat. Yes, they did cheat, but it's better than steroids and stuff that you had in football back in the 1970s and 80s. There was a lot of cheating going on, and this isn't nearly as bad as them taping, open practices, like they did in Spygate back in like 07, 08. So, it's not as bad as it seems. I feel like everyone's making way more of a big deal out of this than it already is. No matter if the balls were deflated or not, the Patriots were going to win that game against the Colts. Of course they were.
Yeah, and Belichick knew what he needed to do,
and there was no wrongdoing in the Super Bowl, so. It was that one game where they found out stuff where there was like text messages being distributed by two ball boys in the organization, and one of them referred to himself as the deflator, the person who deflated the balls. Yeah, so there was really only like three people who knew about it: Tom Brady, and then two people in the equipment organization. And
the thing is, they cheated, and you knew the NFL was going to hold off until after the Super Bowl to come out with its final verdict on it, just so that they couldn't be like, oh, we can't take away the trophy now.
But the thing is, they didn't like 100% say. They're like, he probably had something to do with it, and he probably blah blah blah. It's not like they're going to continue the investigation.
Yeah, even though it's pretty much been proven by when they look through text messages saying Tom wants it to be a little
right.
Tom wants it to be a little deflated.
But I think quarterbacks do this all the time, don't they? Because certain balls like it a certain way. You always hear things where Aaron Rodgers likes the ball overinflated. Is that technically cheating? It could be.
I mean, the thing about that is I'm pretty sure that teams might only do like maybe one or two.
Right. Not 11 out of the 12.
I mean, the thing is that if the ball is like overinflated, then the problem is with Aaron Rodgers, though. Since he doesn't throw any interceptions, the other team doesn't know that the ball is over or underinflated.
Right. I don't think they ever really get to feel the ball.
Yeah, they don't ever get to feel the ball and everything. You're only going to feel if it's underinflated than overinflated.
Right.
Because if it's cold out, the ball's just going to feel like a rock anyways.
Yeah.
Or if it's underinflated, you're going to squish the ball, and that's what the Colts safety picked up Brady and said that this feels flat.
Right, but it's really. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen again, I don't think. But it's like everyone. I was listening on the radio, the Boris and Bernstein show, that they were reading some of these headlines from newspapers across the country where people are like freaking out over this. Like, Tom Brady's legacy is tarnished now. No, it's not. He's won 3 Super Bowls. He's won 4 Super Bowls. That's right, he's won 4. He's although he shouldn't have won that last one, but he did. And he's a certain Hall of Famer, no doubt. One of the best quarterbacks.
He has one of the best coaches of all time in Bill Belichick.
Yeah. So and for the most part, he's been a pretty good person. And this is a little hiccup in something that'll blow over in a couple weeks.
Now, if they didn't win the Super Bowl, there might be some punishment. Except they're not going to punish the Super Bowl champs.
No, I don't think so.
And I mean, Brady deserves to be fined. The New England Patriots organization deserves to be fined. And I like how they wait until after the draft to announce this, like, oh, we can't take away any draft picks.
No, a lot of people are calling for Tom Brady to be suspended for like the first 2 games or something. I don't think that's
not going to happen.
And I think it's a little ridiculous to ask for something like that to happen. I mean, that missing 2 games is a big deal. especially in football when you only have 16.
Well, he shouldn't have cheated, though.
But that's the thing. I mean, I understand it's cheating, and I understand it's, and it was in the AFC Championship game, but, stuff like this probably happens all the time, and teams don't really call upon it. The Colts called upon it, and they found out some things.
Well,
I feel like this happens all the time.
The thing with the Colts was, though, when the safety intercepted the ball and then went to the sideline and said this ball feels flat, that was in the game earlier in the season. That wasn't that was the second time they had caught the Patriots cheating during the season. They were underinflated in that game, in just that regular season, that Sunday night game against the Colts, or maybe it was a Monday night game against the Colts.
So I mean, it's been happening before. It's probably happened. It happens with a lot of quarterbacks.
So the thing is, it's kind of repeat over the same season, and I mean, this is really kind of going to be a big deal. I mean, now if it was a non-superstar quarterback, like if it was the Bears and Jay Cutler, I'm sure the NFL wouldn't hesitate to suspend Cutler.
No, probably not.
Except that Cutler doesn't care enough to cheat. He just doesn't care enough about life to cheat.
He
just doesn't care.
I really don't think it's a big deal. I don't know. I don't get the hype over it, I guess. I don't understand the public outcry, and
they cheated.
But they were going to win that game no matter what. And it's not.
I mean, I don't think it matters about the outcome of the game.
I mean, it's just a football. It's an underinflated football. I mean, it's underinflated by a couple ounces maybe, or I mean, who knows? It's not. I don't think an underdeflated ball determines an outcome of a football game.
No, it probably doesn't, especially not in that game. It's just they didn't follow the rules. Rules are rules, and Roger Goodell needs to start enforcing them, because the funny thing is, the NFL's paying more attention to this Deflate Gate than all the domestic abuse.
Yeah, let's try to focus on, some of the domestic abuse problems, and, I mean, the Bears have somebody who's going to possibly be, the Bears have Ray McDonald now. He's possibly going to miss some time, depending on if he's found... if he's charged with some of these domestic disputes.
It doesn't sound like he's going to be found guilty.
No,
this.
He sounds pretty confident that he's going to be not guilty on a lot of these things. Which I think is good. I think after looking and hearing about some of the stuff, I really think that girl probably fabricated a lot of the stuff, which is what he says and what a lot of people are saying.
Well, that's what even the investigators said. They don't have any evidence that he hit her.
There's really no evidence that he did anything wrong. If there's no evidence, there's no evidence. I mean, obviously, he's obviously something happened. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened. So obviously something happened, but nothing.
Not what the girlfriend is saying happened.
Not what they said happened. So yeah, I think. But I think the NFL should be worried about domestic disputes other than, underinflated balls. Look at the Ray Rice thing. They've never even touched on that again. Right, but now you're going to get in the league, now. Well, what this Deflate Gate really does, if it is it gives people other than the Patriots fans just more ammo to hate the Patriots. Now they've cheated twice, once worse than the other, but they've been caught cheating twice.
Ironically, they won the Super Bowl both years.
Yeah, and
they did win the Super Bowl both years,
and that's just sort of what happens. So Tom Brady's still a great quarterback, obviously, but there's a lot of public outcry. That's what happens when you have a lot of outlets to be. Have outcry on. Scoreboard update from Tampa Bay. Montreal's now leading 5-0. They scored 2 goals in the first period and 3 goals in the second period.
Yeah, I assume Ben Bishop has been yanked from that game.
So, yes, it says Lightning's Bishop pulled. So there you go. It's 5-0. Looks like they're on track to win this and bring it back to Montreal, which would be exciting for them and their fan base.
Yeah, well, since they have the loudest fans, Game 5 will be loud, especially when you have a convincing win like this.
Sure, yeah.
Assuming they don't blow it and then ends up being a 5-3 win.
That would be hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, if they can win this 5-0, 5-1, 6-0, I mean, I think they'll be pretty good to win Game 5. Then Game 6, we'll see what happens.
Right. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we will have our final segment coming up where we will preview the Hawks-Wild game. The Blackhawks are going for a sweep, and my gosh, hopefully they get it.
And dissecting Wild head coach Mike Yao's comments after Game 3, dissecting Game 3, and what's happened to Corey Crawford? Oh, nothing happened. He's just a good goalie.
Nothing happened. He's just been the best goalie.
Yeah, he's just one of the best goalies in the league, especially come playoff time.
I think he was top 3 this year as far as save percentage and a whole bunch of other stuff. He
had his best season ever. He was just tired.
Carey Price. I mean, those are the 2 best goalies that.
Yeah, Carey Price is really, really good company to be up there with, considering he had an amazing year.
Right. So we'll preview the Hawks Wild, go Hawks, and that will be up next here on Sports Renegades, SportsTownChicago.com. The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.